Yes, guys, hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and welcome to another episode of Premier League predictions. Game week number 3. We've already seen Brighton on top and Everton down below. Will this be another change like it was in game week 2, where we see Newcastle being on top? Now it's Brighton, and we've seen Aston Villa go bottom, but now it's Everton. So could we see another change to the Premier League table this weekend? We shall wait and see. But yes, this is episode 3 of Premier League predictions, and this is match day 3, starting off today and ending off on a Sunday. Now, I did say to you yesterday that I won't be able to do the Newcastle versus Liverpool game because I had to go somewhere, but it looks like nothing bad has happened. So yes, I'll be covering the Newcastle Liverpool game because that's got to be the game of the weekend. St James's Park, the atmosphere is going to be absolutely electric. 4:30 p.m. kickoff. I'm looking forward to it. That's the game. It's the Chelsea game and the Newcastle versus Liverpool game are the only watch-alongs I'm going to be doing. The Saturday's ones, not quite sure, but yes, the Newcastle Liverpool, I will definitely do that on Sunday, so make sure you guys check that out. So yeah, that's the game of the weekend. Looking forward to that one. Of course, there's Brighton against West Ham, should be a really good game to watch. Bournemouth versus Tottenham, another good game to watch. And of course, there's Saturday's 3 p.m. kickoff, so there we go. So yeah, so Chelsea Luton starting off today, and that's going to be the first prediction I'm going to be doing. And before I get started, if you guys haven't already, make sure you click the like button if you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button if you're new, hit the bell notification so that you never miss any of my YouTube content, and make sure you click the share button so that everyone can come along and give their predictions in the comments down below. And then by the end of this game, this match day, if you guys can go over your scores and see how many you got, if you got higher than me, then that's good. If you got the same, then we're together. But if we got something different, but if you got lower than me, then try again next week and you'll do better than me. So make sure you guys do those 4 things for me, and you will make me a very happy person. So there we go. Right, without further ado, let's start. So, the first game, like I mentioned, is Chelsea versus Luton Town kicking off later on today at 8 p.m. Now, I went for. Now, I'm not going to talk about this too much because I've already explained to you what Pochettino should go for and what's my overall prediction. And I did say yesterday I'm going to go for Chelsea 3, Luton Town nil. If I see a back three later today, then I know we're winning. So I want Pochettino back four. So yeah, if you guys want more about this, you can go to my YouTube channel or click the link in the bottom right hand corner, and you're able to see the match preview for the Chelsea vs Luton game. So there we go. So yeah, Chelsea 3, Luton Town is going to be my prediction for that game tomorrow later today. Then we move on into Saturday's games. We got Bournemouth versus Tottenham Hotspur. Of course, Bournemouth, I believe they've drew against West Ham and lost against Liverpool. Now, in the game against Liverpool, they could have been 2-0 up in like 3 minutes, but they actually scored one goal. But I did knew that Liverpool are going to win despite Bournemouth trying to shock them. So there we go. But that performance against Liverpool was not too bad for Bournemouth because I expected Liverpool to dominate them and all that stuff. But Bournemouth did have some spells in both the first half and the second half. And if they put those chances away, maybe they could have been free. It could have been a draw, But listen, for Bournemouth, still looking for a win under their new manager. For Tottenham Hotspur, they beat Manchester United 2-0. I say in from like 0 to 30 minutes, I say Manchester United were better, but then after that's all been Tottenham, and they deserve to win because if Manchester United would have put those chances away, this could have been totally different conversation and a totally different scoreline, but they didn't. And Tottenham is doing one of the post as a Koglu, um, getting the draw against Brentford, which is a difficult place to go, and beating Manchester United at White Hart Lane, which they never do. So yeah, for this game, of course, when DC May tried, it was 3-2. Now, do I think Tottenham will keep a clean sheet? No. But do I think Tottenham will get to win? Let's wait. Let's. I think so. But the problem is that big teams don't tend to do well in the trophy tipping kickoffs. Arsenal. We look at Arsenal. They were so lucky here to get that win because if Jensen would have put those chances away, and if I'm sorry, if Nottingham Forest would have scored those shots in the 90th minute, it could have been a loss for Arsenal. So yeah, but do I expect the same thing for Tottenham? I think so because Bournemouth, yeah, are not gonna just sit back and they allow Tottenham to get the ball to dominate possession, but they'll find a way to frustrate them. So I feel like this game, I feel like it's gonna be another North London win in a trophy to pin kickoff at lunchtime. So I'm gonna go for a 2-1 Tottenham win. I think they'll get another win under Ange Postecoglou because, like I said, it's so much better than under Terry Conte last season where it was fossil, boring to watch. But now Tom are looking really good this season. Do I think they're finishing Europe? Maybe. But do I see them finishing the top four? No. Do I see them winning a trophy? No. But let's see if Ange Postecoglou can prove me wrong and prove everyone wrong because Tom have never won a trophy since 2008, which is getting close to 16 years ago, ever since that happened. So there we go. So I think Tottenham will get to win. I'm going to go for 2-1. Of course, like I said, when DC faced each other, it was 3-2, but I don't see that happening. If Tottenham can get the job done with taking those chances, then yeah, I see them getting 3 points. But if they're acting like Manchester United, I still think they'll win, but I feel like Bournemouth will frustrate them a couple of times if Tottenham don't take the chances. So yeah, I'm going to go for a 2-1 Tottenham win against Bournemouth on a Saturday lunchtime kickoff. Then we move on into excuse me, 3 p.m. kickoff, and the first one is Arsenal versus Fulham in the London Derby. I'm not sure why this game isn't on the 5:30 p.m. kickoff, but it's actually on the 3 p.m. and it's at the Emirates Stadium. Now, of course, Arsenal for me against Crystal Palace were good, but in the last two performances, I'm beginning to wonder. Have Arsenal looked a bit off like last season? Because the game against Nottingham Forest, I expected to beat them 5-0, but it was actually 2-1. For the Crystal Palace game, I expected Arsenal to beat them 2-0. It's actually 1-0 to them, and they were lucky enough that Crystal Palace that they've won because yes, I think Tomiyasu should never get sent off. But I think in spurs of games here, I think Crystal Palace will win because I think that was a penalty to Crystal Palace when Eze fell on the floor. And if what was it? Was it also an end one? If you would have scored that chance here, I would believe that Crystal Palace make either could have got a draw or beaten Arsenal, but they didn't. So yeah, so I feel like for me that win and the Community Shield, I think their performances dropped off a little bit. I think they'll challenge, but overall their performance has dropped down a little bit, because last season we see them beat Fulham 3-0, beat Nottingham Forest 5-0, beat Crystal Palace 2-0. We've seen some results like that, but that win in Community Shield, their performances have dropped down just a little bit. So the big question is would this affect their chance of winning the title? I think so, but I still think they'll challenge still. I think they'll do that this season. But listen, Fulham wasn't that good in the London derby against Brentford because I expect them to win, but that performance didn't turn up. So the game against don't know what's going on here. Sorry guys. If I can bring that up. So I don't know what happened, but yeah, also against Fulham. Um I wanted to go for a 2-1 Arsenal win, but the fact that Fulham don't tend to usually do one London derbies, um, should I go for 2-1 Arsenal or should I go for 3-0 to them? It's so difficult to predict because I want to get the 3 points, which I haven't done. And so for this game, yeah, I'm gonna go for an Arsenal win of 3-0. I wanted to go for 2, but I was thinking, now, you know what, Fulham, um, the game against Everton, they were lucky to get the win. The game against Brentford, I think they deserve to lose. So Arsenal, they need to get this performance so much better than Nottingham Forest game and the Crystal Palace game, because if they want to at least win the title, their performance needs to do so much better. I still think they'll score goals, but in terms of the performance, it needs to click. It needs to then, like, also simply cannot, be tired and play boring football. No, they need to make sure that they get the performance so that the fans can confidently says, yes, we're winning the title. So I feel like this game against Fulham tomorrow, I think they'll, and plus, let's not forget, also tend to do well in London derbies, when they, because last season, yeah, they managed to pick up um, they managed to do the. They picked up a draw against Brentford and they beat them away from home. The game against Chelsea, they beat them twice. The game against Fulham, they beat them twice. The game against Palace, they beat them twice. Let's see, what was the game against West Ham? I believe they've won twice, something like that. No, sorry, they picked up a draw and then they beat West Ham at home. And what else? Who else is in the London derby? Tottenham, they beat them twice. And I think that might be it. So Arsenal tend to do well in the London derby. So I feel like this is another London derby where they will win. And plus, we see them beat Crystal Palace. So yeah, so I think Arsenal gets another London derby win. So I'm going to go for an Arsenal 3-0 win against Fulham on a Saturday at 3 p.m. Then we've got another London derby between Brentford and Crystal Palace at the GTEC Community Stadium at 3 p.m. Now, of course, Brentford are unbeaten under Thomas Frank because they drew against Tottenham and they beat who did they beat? Who did they beat? Fulham in the West London derby. So yeah, Brentford so far in the London derbies this season haven't been that bad. Whereas for Crystal Palace, they've lost against Arsenal in the London derby, but they beat Sheffield United, which I didn't expect that to happen. So I think this is going to be a really tough test for Crystal Palace because going to GTEC Community Stadium ain't that easy. And guess what? Brentford have still managed to pick up results without Ivan Toney. We've seen Ubremu score goals and we've seen Wissa score goals as well. So I feel like this game, yeah, I'm going to go for a Brentford win of 2-0 against Crystal Palace in a London derby. And those are, I feel that's, yeah, those are the only two games I'm going to be watching since both of them are London derbies. Brentford Palace and Arsenal versus Fulham. Those are going to be really good games to watch. So Brentford Crystal Palace, I'm going to go for a 2-0 Brentford win in the London derby. Now we move on into Everton versus Wolverhampton Wanderers, or Wolves for short. Now Wolves here, I feel like they should have beaten Manchester United, but the game against Brighton at Molineux, I feel like that was their worst performance ever because. Especially under Gary O'Neill, because I would thought that, yeah, you know what, I'm going to give Wolves the benefit of the doubt. They had a good performance against Manchester United. Let's see if they could put that same performance against Brighton. And this game is at Molineux as well. But the fact that they conceded 4 goals, and after that they scored, I thought that really disappointed me because I didn't expect. I don't think Wolves would get relegated, but if they continue like this year under Gary O'Neill, then I could see them either getting relegated or perhaps finishing in 17th place because Wolves is under some serious pressure. Because how come you can put in a good performance against Manchester United and then not do well against Brighton? So to me, it doesn't make any sense. They're up against Everton. Now, of course, Everton got destroyed by Aston Villa 4-0. They've lost against Fulham, which I think they should have won. So I don't know what to predict. Should I go for Wolves win or Everton win? Because it's at Goodison Park, and we know that Everton sometimes they can do well at Goodison Park. Now, of course, if Everton want to beat Wolves, they need to put that same performance against Fulham. But this time, when those chances go in, they need to make sure that at least when they have those chances, when there's two or three chances, those chances need to convert it into goals because if they want, because for Everton not to do well under Sean Dyche this season, they need some attackers, they need some goal scorers that can do well in the final third. Otherwise, I can see Everton being in the exact same situation as last season, where they're in a relegation zone, but then on the final day they managed to stay up. So to me, if Everton want to act like a big club and don't want to get relegated, they need to make sure they create those chances and turn them into goals. It's as simple as that. It's so difficult for me to predict this one. Um, is at Goodison Park. Of course, Wolves, I think they've won their last time. I don't know, to be honest with you. I mean, both teams are looking for a win. That's all I've got to say. So difficult for me to predict this, but I might go for an Everton win of probably 1-0. I think like I said, Wolves, if they would have beaten Brighton, then maybe I would have gone for Wolves win, but they didn't. So only like both teams are looking to win since both of them lost. So I'm gonna have to go for an Everton win of 1-0. And the goal score for me is going to be I feel I'm gonna have to go for the Corey in the second, like he will score in the second half. I feel like there will be no goals in the first half, but in the second half we will see some goals, and I think the Coil will score for Everton. So yeah, I'm gonna go for an Everton win of 1-0 at Goodison Park in there. Right, the next one is Manchester United versus Nottingham Forest at Old Trafford at 3 p.m. UK time. Another one that's going to be the last one. Now, of course, Manchester United had a really bad performance against Tottenham, and let's not forget, Man United away record against the top nine teams is not that great. It really is not that great. When they faced Tottenham, they've lost. When they faced like like teams against Arsenal away from home, they've lost. Manchester City, they've lost. Liverpool, they've lost. At Old Trafford, but away from that, they always seem to like get lost or a few draws, but more losses. Like to me, it doesn't make any sense. And like I said, if Manchester United wants to at least challenge for the title, they need to prove away from home. So yeah, so Man United's next away game, they should be terrified. But at Old Trafford, Man United fans should be confident because Nottingham Forest did win against Sheffield United, but away from home, they've lost against Arsenal, which they should have at least gone a point or maybe perhaps win. And I can unbeaten home Trafford record, but I don't see that happening. So for this game tomorrow, I'm gonna go for Manchester United win of 3-0. And the only way, yeah, I can see Man United getting the win is to not put is to put a 4-2-3-1 instead of a 4-1-4 formation and putting Rashford as a winger on the left hand side of the attack, not as a striker, because you can see when Rashford for Tottenham, he didn't score. So if Rashford wants to score goals for Manchester United, he needs to play as a left winger, not as a striker. So Eric Ten Hag needs to get this right. Otherwise, he's under some serious pressure. And plus, our Old Trafford, which players tend to do well and get a result. So I think for me, yeah, my prediction for this game tomorrow is going to be Manchester United 3, Nottingham Forest 0. The goal scorers for me are Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes, be the goal scorers for that game tomorrow afternoon at Old Trafford. So yeah, Manchester United 3, Nottingham Forest nil. So and I believe that Manchester United's home record is going to continue. Of course, Brighton beat their last time, but after that, no other teams in Europe can go there and beat Manchester United at Old Trafford. So there we go. So yeah, not so yeah, Brighton. Sorry, Manchester United 3, Nottingham Forest nil is going to be my prediction for that one tomorrow. Right, we move on into the last Saturday's game versus West Ham United at the Amex Stadium. Now, this is going to be a good game to watch. Of course, Brighton unbeaten, 4-1 against against Luton Town, 4-1 against let's see, Wolves, and yeah, are top of the league because they've scored 8, conceded, and their goal deficit is +6. So they're doing a fantastic job. Whereas for West Ham, they're unbeaten as well. Draw against Bournemouth, beaten Chelsea 3-1. So West Ham United. So this is a really good game. Let me have a look at the table very quickly. Um, where is West Ham? So it's yes, first against seventh, if you know what I mean. So first against seventh. So of course, when these two face each other, I believe that Brighton beats West Ham to be really difficult because Robert De Zerbi is doing a fantastic job. But like I said, when Brighton lose their best players, they still know how to win games. They still know how to put in the performances and get the 3 points. And that's why I'm telling you, Brighton are a well-run club. And I'm telling we should fear because their recruitment team, their medical team, their owners, everything about Brighton is they're doing a fantastic job for Brighton because Brighton want to at least finish in the top 10 and plus they win the Europa League. So there we go. So I think what with Champions League and potentially win a trophy. So if he could do that, then I think for me deserves manager of the season. So there we go. So for this game, I was thinking I was thinking Brighton I'm gonna get it against West Ham, but I thought to myself now against West Ham, I think this is gonna be another 4-1. And if that happens, they'll score 12 goals and they'll concede 3, and their goal difference will be +9. So yeah, I think West Ham will score, but I think Brighton will just destroy West. Let's see, Luton Town and also Wolves away from home. So I'm gonna predict another 4-1 against Brighton. The goal scorers for me are gonna be Solly March, Mitamio, Danny Welbeck, and who else? To probably be Mikel Antonio. So yeah, so those are going to be the goal scorers for that game. And I think Brighton are going to get another 4-1 win against West Ham. But just imagine if West Ham do tend to beat Brighton, then they'll be above them. But listen, as at Amex Stadium, Brighton are cooking under Robert De Zerbi. So I'm going to go for Brighton with a 4-1. It's going to be another 4-1 to them. So I can definitely see that happening. So yeah, Brighton 4, West Ham United 1 is going to be my prediction for that one on Saturday. Now we move on into Sunday's game, Super Sunday. Of course, 2 p.m. kickoff at Turf Moor. Of course, Burnley's last game against Luton was cancelled, but before that, they lost against Manchester City. Was for Aston Villa, they absolutely destroyed and put Everton in display by beating them 4-0, and they also beat who was it? Hibs late a few days ago to in the Europa Conference League. So as Villa under Una Emery is doing a fantastic job. Burnley though, for me, it's at Turf Moor. Um, but the thing is that Vincent Company, we shall wait and see. For this game, I expect this game to be really tough for Burnley because as Villa is, look at Leon Bailey, scored against Newcastle, scored against Everton, scored against Hibs. So that is 3 goals in 3 games for Leon Bailey. Of course, Ollie Watkins scored a hat trick against Hibs. So these players, so Una M is getting the best out of Ollie Watkins, their new signings. They're just doing a fantastic job. And I think it's going to be a really tough game for Burnley, even though it's at Turf Moor, as Villa are doing a really good job under Una. I'm not sure if this game will be televised, but we shall. But Sky Sports will confirm that tomorrow. So I'm gonna go for a excuse me. I'm gonna go for should I go for three? Yeah, I'm going to go for 3-0 Aston Villa. I think the goal scorers for me are going to be Leon Bailey again, and I think Ollie Watkins will get a brace. And I think they'll keep a clean sheet the way they did against Everton and Hibs a few days ago. So yeah, like I said, the Luton Town game, I that game was cancelled, so I'm not sure when these two are going to be facing each other. Win because, like I said, they're doing a fantastic job under Una Emery. And I think the expectation is for them to finish in the to win the Conference League and also finish in the top six. And if they can do that, then I feel like maybe the next few years, maybe Aston Villa could be in the Champions League like a couple of years. So there we go. So I think. As Villa to a point, Una Emery last season, I think that's the right decision by the owner. So there we go. So I'm going to go for as Villa with a 3-0 on the season. Next up, we have Sheffield United versus Manchester City at the at Bramall Lane. Now, of course, Sheffield United didn't have a great start because they've lost against Sheffield United at home. They lost against Nottingham Forest. So yeah, many people predicted Sheffield United to get relegated, and many people are saying that Sheffield United are gonna are going to be like Derby County, but even worse. So we shall wait and see. For this game, of course, my prediction could have been 1-0 to Manchester City, but I'm gonna go for 2-0 Manchester City because the game against Newcastle, I think they should have made it 3-0 if Erling Haaland would have put those chances away. But listen, they still managed to beat Newcastle. They've won against Burnley 3-0, and Edison are keeping clean sheets, two in a row. So I think this is going to be another clean sheet for Edison and for Manchester City. Now, like I said before, Pep Guardiola is going to be out. Manchester City, we shall wait to see. But we will confirm that on Sunday. But listen, I think Manchester City can win games without Kevin De Bruyne, without Pep Guardiola. The thing is that could they do that without Pep Guardiola? We shall wait to see. But listen, they still got Phil Foden, they still got Jack, they still got the best players who could go to Bama Lane and beat Manchester City and get another clean sheet. So yeah. So I'm gonna go for a Manchester City win of 2-0. The goals for me are going to be Erling Haaland to score twice, the way he did against Burnley away from home. So yeah, Manchester City are gonna get a 2-0 win against Sheffield United. And let's not forget they've also signed a midfielder of Doku from was it club he was previously came out of. So yeah, but they signed Doku, who's a midfielder, and maybe he could cover for Kevin De Bruyne, who's going to be out for 4 months. So let's see what he can do. So yeah, so Manchester City 2, Sheffield United 0. That's going to be my prediction on the Super Sunday. So maybe this game could be televised, but we shall wait and see. And last and not least, the final game of versus Liverpool. At St James's Park Super Sunday, the game of the weekend. Now, when these two face each other, it was 2-0 to Liverpool. Now, Newcastle's record against Liverpool isn't that great. Let me see when was the last time where Liverpool beat. Have a quick look. Let me just have a quick look. Let me see. When is the last? Let me just have a look at this record for a moment. Let's see. When was the last time? Win, draw, win. Wow. So the last time that Newcastle beat Liverpool was in 2015 when they've lost 2-0. Wow. So that is about 8 years ago that we're entering now. Jesus, 8 years ago since the last time Newcastle beat Tottenham was in 2015 in Christmas. Wow, God. And that was St. James's Park when they've lost 2-0. That is unbelievable. So listen, I think this game is going to be difficult for Liverpool, but the last time I said that, Liverpool managed to beat them 2-0. So unfortunately for Newcastle, they've lost again. Unfortunately, I think Newcastle's record against the big six teams, sometimes they're good, but mostly they're bad. So for this game on Sunday, I feel like I have to predict the exact same thing. I'm gonna go for 2-0 Liverpool win because because I predict Newcastle would have 2-1 against Liverpool, but that didn't happen. So maybe if I predict a Liverpool win of 2-0, could Newcastle get that win? We should wait and see. But I'm gonna go for 2-0 Liverpool because I think Newcastle's record against Liverpool, poor record, will still continue. So there we go. But this should be a good game because I think Liverpool will dominate possession and score goals, but I think Newcastle will frustrate them for most parts of the game. So the goal scorer for me are got to be Luis Diaz and Mo Salah. Those are going to be the goal scorers for me. That's going to score against the Newcastle. I expect this game to be a little bit tough for Liverpool, but more so for Newcastle. But I think Liverpool will be the 2-0 winners against Newcastle on a Super Sunday. And like I said, I thought I was never going to do that stream, but since I'm not going anywhere, I'll be covering that on my YouTube channel. So make sure you guys check that out. 4:50 p.m. on my YouTube channel. Newcastle versus Liverpool should be a good game on a Super Sunday. So there we go. Right, guys, so that is all my Premier predictions, and we run for them one more time. So later today, I've gone for a Chelsea 3-0 win against Luton Town, 8 p.m. kickoff later today, and as we covering up later on today, so make sure you guys check that out. Then the next one, Saturday lunchtime, I've gone for a Tottenham win against Bournemouth at the Vitality Stadium and this in the seaside. Then I've gone for Arsenal 3-0 win against Fulham in the London derby at the Emirates Stadium. Then I've gone for Brentford 2-0 win against Crystal Palace in the London derby at the GTEC Community Stadium. Then I've gone for an Everton 1-0 win against Wolves at Goodison Park at Merseyside. Then I've gone for a Manchester United 3-0 win against Nottingham Forest at Old Trafford in Manchester. Then I've gone for Brighton of Hove United at the Amex Stadium on the South Coast. That's the last Saturday's game. And then I've gone for a Burnley 3-0. Sorry, I've gone for that's for a 3-0 win against Burnley at Turf Moor in East Lancashire in the northwest of England. Then I've gone for Sheffield United my Premier predictions for Game Week 3 in the Premier League this weekend. Don't forget, later on today, Chelsea versus Luton Town live watch along. Make sure you guys don't miss that one. Then on Saturday, I'll be doing the Newcastle United versus Liverpool live watch along. So make sure you guys check that out. Those are only two watch alongs I'm going to be doing. If you guys don't want to miss those two games, make sure you click the bell notifications. But before you do that, make sure you click the subscribe button first, then click the bell notifications. And if you enjoyed this video and the live streaming, make sure you give this a thumbs up and make sure you click the share button so that everyone is welcome to give their predictions, and let me know in the comments down below whether you agree or disagree, and let me know if you agree of any of my predictions. It doesn't have to be all, but there's some that you think to yourself, yeah, you know what, maybe I agree of what he says, so let me know in the comments down below. Right, guys, got to leave it there. As always, big up yourselves. Thank you so much for watching. Look after yourselves. Take care. And as always, peace. Up the blues. And I'll see you guys later on today. Take care. I'm out of here. Peace. Love you guys. Thank you so much.